Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Breaking Bad. Last time on Breaking Bad, we had Madrigal, where Walt and Jesse went to Mike about basically, I guess, sort of getting the band back together and getting back to work on production of Blue Meth, which Mike declined. And then we had some other stuff with whole lot of other stuff. I always forget. I'm so bad at this. But we had Mike was called in by the DEA to talk about Gus, and he pretty much, denied everything and, played innocence, basically. However, they did bring up one of Gus's offshore accounts that was in Mike's granddaughter's name, and that all the money is basically going to be taken by the federal government. And then there was a list of people that could talk, and Mike thought that they were all going to be good, but one of them wasn't, and so he started. He had to go cross a couple names off that list. However, before he crossed one of the names off the list, he asked, "Can you still get a hold of?" I don't remember what it was specifically, but something basically to help with something used in the production of crystal meth. And she said, maybe. And so Mike decided to let her live. And then he decided that he was going to join Walt and Jesse in their new venture. Yeah. Also, Skyler was pretty much staying in bed the whole day, and Walt was like, no, I know what you're going through about Ted, and it'll get better. And he started kissing her, and it was the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, I mean, pretty much more to the Walt has lost his marbles camp. So yeah. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. This is also where I say if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of Breaking Bad, what you gotta do is head down in the description or to the pinned comment, click on the link there. That will take you over to the reaction. You can watch it just like a normal reaction. And when you're done with that, you can pop right back over here to this YouTube video for the discussion. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this episode of Breaking Bad. Here we go. Took matters into his own hands and flew too close to the sun. Is he thinking about Mike? Is he thinking maybe he's going to have to do something about Mike? He can't. The thing with Mike is the problem they've had from the beginning. The problem they've had from the beginning of distribution. They cannot do it. They've never been able to do it. Which is why they had to go to Tuco and Gus and now Mike. So, if anything, the person that does hold the most power is Mike. Because Mike is their distributor. And they don't have anything without him. But, another thing I was thinking is, what if Walt decides to kill all those men? Now, this is Walter White we're talking about. That's not a thing that's going to happen. Walter White, though he is good, he has his moments, and yes, the way he killed Gus was clever. Killing all of those guys without anyone noticing is impossible. I think right now, he's just thinking. But I'm thinking that something's going to be happening at some point. There's going to be some sort of a clash between Walt and Mike. Okay. Let's hop into the notes. The first thing I wrote down is move back. Let's kind of group the two Skylar ones together. So we have move back. Walt just takes it upon himself to move back. And there's honestly nothing Skylar can do because she could try to stand up to him, but the reason that she hasn't is she is scared of him. She is so scared of him now. And she is so scared of him now, and because of that, can't really say anything anymore. Now, if she did stand up to him, I'm curious as to how well she'd be able to do it, you know? Could she be successful with it? I don't know. We would have to see. We would definitely have to see. The other thing for Skylar is shut up. You know, she did just have a breakdown. She finally kind of lost it and just sort of took it all out on Marie. And you know, that's one thing. And now Walt is aware of her breakdown. Walt is aware that she's having a problem. But his lie, technically, he did not lie, per se. What he said to Marie was a twisted version of the truth, but still technically the truth. Because all he mentioned about Ted's accident was that he had an accident. And he said, oh, well, Skylar had an affair with Ted. And he said it wasn't really ongoing. Now, the thing is, he did not say that it was after she served the divorce papers that she had the affair. So, he's not telling the entire truth, obviously, but he's saying just enough, basically, to get Marie off of his trail, which was very, very clever. And again, technically, he did not lie, which I like. That was a very clever way. You know, it's not the gambling or anything like that. It's just he just sort of spun the truth. He took a small portion of the truth and spun it in a way to get Marie basically off the trail. So there's that. Moving back, we have not moving back like Walt moving back. I meant moving back in the notes. The division of labor. So we've got our two cooks. Mike is handling business. Saul is handling, I guess, everything else, really, which is interesting. So, yeah. And that's the thing, is that Walt has never been able to do business. That is always his biggest problem. The man can cook. But he cannot do business to save his life. And that's always been the problem. And he can't do enough business as well, you know? That's why he went to Tuco and had to go to Gus. You know, they tried it after Tuco. They tried it on their own for a little while, but it just didn't work. So they have to have a businessman, and that's going to be Mike. So, yeah. I liked the whole thing of, you know, going to different locations and stuff like that. That was really fun. And seeing the four of them act off each other is just great. You know, they're all great characters, and they all, you know, work so well off of each other. So I like this idea. This is a very ballsy idea, honestly. But I like the idea of using this, you know, basically this fumigating company. And because they have enough houses that they go to, you know, they say it's like, oh, you know, they hit like 4 or 5 houses every week. So, or I don't remember how much exactly, but you just choose the best one, and there you go. You go in, the family has to stay away anyway, you know, and it has to be completely covered up. There's already a smell, and at the end, you know, fumigate the whole place, and there you go. So that is a very, very clever idea. Because, first off, every time Walt has an idea, it's one of those like, here comes something crazy that's going to be, too weird. But this one was actually very, very clever. So I like that. It's not one location like they had back at the lab. And it's kind of like a hybrid between the lab that they had and the RV. So that was really, really good. I really enjoyed that. And so I guess the whole thing with these guys, the fumigators, is that they were crooks, which is they were burglars, which is interesting. And honestly, they didn't really do much burgling. I guess they didn't do much stealing, and mainly, sold the information to other burglars, which was very clever. But I guess now they're on the straight and narrow. So yeah, I guess I think they said that it's like, okay, you're not doing that anymore. You're not telling anyone, no nothing. All you're doing now, because now they're going to be paid to bring that stuff into the houses, and basically set up the labs. So that was very, very clever. That was very cool. I like that. So yeah. And that gave us our first good cook in a while, man. So I like that. And it's always fun just when they cook. It's just so fascinating to watch, So I like that. Kind of moving over, we had Walt had to socialize, which was kind of funny. Him and Jesse, Andrea, and Brock, which I finally learned. I think I kept saying Andrea, but that's not. I think it's just Andrea. I think that's how they say it. So I think I finally got that right. It's probably not even that. It's probably something else, and I'm wrong again. So who knows? And of course, it's awkward for us, with Walt because he poisoned Brock, So now that look he gave him, I wonder if that was just a look of like, so this is what I did, and or if it was more. I don't think. First, I was like, does he have an idea or something? It's like, an idea about what? And it's like, no, I think it's just him looking at him as like, this is the kid that I poisoned, the kid that I almost killed, Like, that was pretty crazy. And then we had the whole thing about, do you tell Andrea or not? Because I like that Jesse says, like, yeah, she knows I'm up to something, but she doesn't ask, and she doesn't know the exact details. And so, and he didn't know, like, okay, should I tell her everything, and how much does everything mean? Do I tell her about Gale and Gus and all that stuff? So, but he has decided to break it off with Andrea, which sucks. Because that's the thing, is he was happy with them. So, but oh well. I mean, I get it. I do understand why he would break it off. It's just unfortunate because we just want to watch this boy. We want to watch this man be happy, and he just never gets it. So, and then honestly, I mean, the last things that we had here were, the cuts basically. Like, so they were bringing in less than they thought. Then on top of that, they all had to take certain cuts. So that was pretty crazy. And yeah, Mike is going in thinking like, oh, well, this is just how it happens. We're not the empire that Gus had. We're kind of small time again. So, and that's the thing, it's like, oh, well, we got more with Gus. And it's like, and I like the metaphor. It's like, just because you shot Jesse James doesn't make you Jesse James. Like, that's a good point, honestly, Just because you took out the biggest, distributor, that doesn't make you the biggest distributor. That doesn't make you as good as they were. And I like that he says, like, yeah, Gus didn't need to hire transportation because he spent 20 years building that up, So, and he used the Los Pollos trucks for that. So, that was really, really clever. That was very interesting. And yes, obviously, Waltz is going to. He's obviously trying to think of a way to at least rein in Mike. Which is what he kind of said to Saul. It's like, he handles business and I handle him, and it's like, if you say so, man. So I'm very curious, though, if this is going to be maybe his downfall. Like, because he's thought, like, okay, I've handled Tuco and I've handled Gus. Maybe I'll handle Mike, too. Mike, I don't know. You would think that he wouldn't be able to handle Gus, but Mike may be, like, maybe he's ready for him or something. I don't know. I can't see this going correctly another time, So, yeah, I don't know. There's definitely conflict. There's already been conflict between Mike and Walt, but I think that's definitely going to escalate. So yeah. But this was a really great episode. I really enjoyed it. Again, very fascinating with the whole idea of the moving lab and stuff like that. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much that. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Breaking Bad reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.